Hi, I'm Malinee. Welcome back. Today I'm going to show you how to make a succulent pumpkin centerpiece. The materials you need are a pumpkin, a hot glue gun, moss, and assorted succulent cuttings. So select a pumpkin that has a flat surface so that you can place it evenly on the table or on the ground. And there's many different kinds of pumpkins that you can choose, such as a classic orange pumpkin, or you can have different kind of pumpkins that have interesting colors and shapes and designs. So there's different kinds of moss. I'm going to use a loose green moss for this demonstration, but when you go to the store, you might find different kinds of moss. This is called reindeer moss, and this is a flat kind of moss. Almost looks like a mat. And again, it just depends on what you prefer, but any kind of moss will work to make your pumpkin. So I'm going to use a hot glue gun. Other people use a craft glue spray, but I'm going to show you how to use a hot glue gun to make the succulent pumpkin. So the first thing you want to do is you want to place enough hot glue on the top and then quickly put the moss right on top of that hot glue. Okay? So I'm gonna just need a little bit of base here. Let's do that first, and we can always add a little more hot glue and adjust it, but let's at least put the moss on top so that it can be more secure. Okay, so far that looks pretty good, that the hot glue is keeping this moss intact. Okay. Now you can always add a little bit more. I feel like I need a little bit more moss there, so I'm gonna take some more moss that I have here, and then just again add a little bit more hot glue. Okay, I just need us a little bit here. Okay, so you want to make it look as natural as possible, so we'll just try to fill it out a bit and then add our succulents next. Okay, so the same thing is I'm going to use the hot glue gun and put it right on the side of the cutting and then place it on the moss. Now before you design your pumpkin, you want to use a colorful center such as this Aeonium sunburst or any other colorful succulent that you want to use and make that a very dramatic effect. Okay. So you kind of just want to lay it on there. Okay. You lay that on there, and you can, before you even hot glue the cuttings on the moss, you can first design your centerpiece just by placing the succulents first, and then you can hot glue them. So I'm just gonna look at the pumpkin like this so I can see. And again, there's no wrong or right way to do it. It's just add some color. So right now I'm just eyeballing it and seeing how this looks before I actually start assembling it and hot gluing it. So far it looks really nice. So I'm just going to start adding my cuttings and start hot gluing it. So for this one, I'm going to lay it like this and put the hot glue. Be very careful when you use hot glue. You can burn yourself, but just put a dab along the edge there. And you might have to add a little bit more, but let's just use that for now. And then I'm just going to place it gently there. Okay. Kind of press it down a bit on the moss. Okay, and then I'm just going to keep assembling my pumpkin. Okay. So again, hot glue on the side where you're going to lay that cutting on. And just keep I'm always afraid of burning myself. I've done it many times. So I'm trying not to go too fast, but at least be very careful. Now my design probably might have changed because I was just eyeballing it, and I'm just adding some cuttings and succulents as I see that looks nice. Let me just let's put that there. Okay. Again, you just want to, what I'm doing is again place on the side there. And if the cuttings come off, just simply add more glue. It doesn't hurt the plant. The plants will still grow. Okay. Now, what I have to do here, I have to trim this. See the leaves? I need to trim that off so I can get some hot glue on there. And then I'll plant these later and propagate those. And the good thing about moss is that you can cover up a lot of any areas where you feel like they're a little bit bare and you don't have enough cuttings or something. You can always add moss to cover those bare areas. Right now I have, seems like I have a lot of cuttings here, so I'm going to try to use as many as I can, but you don't have to use all of them. Again, like trim the leaves, add some hot glue. Now this is a pumpkin that you can see from all directions, and that's what my goal is so I can see this from all directions. Let's just trim this again. Now this side looks really nice, but the back of it is a little bit bare. So I'm gonna find a larger plant and I'm gonna place that in the back. Okay, so I went to get another plant that was already dry, and it's a nicer, it fills this nice pumpkin nicely, as you can see. So that fills that back part there, because you want to be able to see the pumpkin from all directions if you're going to put this on your table or you're going to put it outside on your patio. Okay, so I'm just going to keep filling in, keep building my centerpiece. Again, you don't need to fill it completely or make it so full, or you can make it very full. Again, it's based on your own preference. I like to make things very full to give it that very stunning, dramatic effect. And it looks so nice, especially during the holidays, and many people are often in awe of succulent pumpkin centerpieces because they're so creative and they're unique arrangements to give or to place in your own house. So I'm looking for all directions. Now I feel like I'm going to add a little more moss just on the edge after I'm done, just to fill it out, like make it a little more natural. Okay, but I'm just going to add a few more cuttings here, or maybe a little several more. Now, some people use succulents that cascade. These are known as trailing or succulent hanging plants that can cascade along the edge here, and again, make it a little more creative, a little more stunning, and then you can do that as well, or you can leave it alone and make it as still beautiful as this. Now for this plant, it's called a Senecio string of pearls. It's very pretty. It's not very easy to hang, but I can show you how to do like a little strand here, and we can put it at the edge. So for this, you have to be very careful because of how thin the stem is. Now you can easily, you can put some hot glue in there if you like, but it might be a little easier to add some hot glue and then press it down there. So I'm going to attempt to do that right now. Just be very careful with your hands when you press it on there. You can always use a little stick that I have here and just kind of press it down. Okay, and we can add, you can keep building and adding more of these strands and make it long and on all sides. So I'm going to do that again here. And you can always use moss to cover any mistakes that you might think you see. Moss is very easy and it blends really well with the succulents. So again, what I was going to do is again add some more moss around the edge here to kind of fill in, as you can see, some of the bare areas. Okay. First, we'll try to use all the glue I have here, and then I'll refill it. So just kind of add and tuck in some moss underneath the succulent. And then you don't need to make it perfect. Just kind of let it dangle a little bit and let it look more natural. And then on this side, see, it's a little empty. So I'm going to do the same thing. Again, just kind of like tuck in a little bit of moss under here. Again, don't make it look so perfect. Just kind of let it look very natural as possible. Okay. put this at the edge here. Add a little hot glue on the pumpkin, and then place this very gently on the hot glue. And then use whatever stick you have and gently press it on, and that will hold in place. So the best way to care for a succulent pumpkin centerpiece is to keep it preferably outdoors if you can, in a covered patio where it gets some light but not direct sun, and spray it about twice a week. And you can just use a spray bottle like this and just spray all over the succulents and on the moss, and kind of just keep it moist. Of course, during the holidays, you would like to put it on your coffee table or on a dining table to entertain your guests and your family. So you can also place it indoors, and again, it will need some kind of light, filtered light from the window, and water using a spray bottle, and you can spray this and just keep it hydrated, again, about once or twice a week, and just spray it all over the succulents and also on the moss. Now, the great thing about succulent pumpkin centerpieces is that they're very creative. They're great conversation pieces as well, but it also will continue to last. After this pumpkin dies, you can take all these and split or separate these succulents and replant them in your yard or in a container. So thank you for watching. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them below. See you again soon.